Hello DNNers, and welcome to this mini-series about building DNN. My name is Peter. I'm the stay-at-home DNNer right now, and in this episode we're going to look at the source code, how it's organized, and what you can find where. So we're going to start at GitHub at the repository for the DNN platform, which is under DNN software, DNN platform. And the first thing, of course, we do is we fork it, because that's what we need to be able to start working on this. Is we are going to create our own fork. I already have done that. It's under Donker, DNN platform, and that will be the place on GitHub where I will be doing changes to, and not to the core platform project under DNN software. So we're going to clone that locally. Fire up my PowerShell here and going to go to my D drive, and I would git clone. Let's have a look. What are we? Control C, Control V, and then put it under a directory. Now this is going to download something like 800 megabytes of repo, of project history, if you like. I've already done that for the purposes of this demo, therefore I'm going to leave that here, and we're going to go and cd into it. Now, to browse the contents of this repo, we could use the website as well, actually, so you can see it here, but I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code has my preference for these kind of things, as it shows the files as they are on disk. As you know, Visual Studio, you can create folders and reorganize your project and combine things, have shortcuts to files, and files show themselves in particular ways in Visual Studio, whereas in Visual Studio Code, it's basically just a text editor. So just for browsing around and seeing what things do, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code, which I'll be using for most of the presentations in this series. So opening it up, we see a copy of what was on GitHub, with a few additions here, because I have already installed the npm packages, so they're on the node modules, and the NuGet packages have been restored already. They appear under packages, and the cake tools have come under tools. Other than that, when you clone this repo, it should look exactly the same as it does here. Now, various directories do various things. The build folder, first of all, this is the focus of this mini-series. And under the build folder, we find, organized in various folders, the various bits and pieces that govern how DNN is built. And for the purpose of this series, we're going to look at two of them. They are the build scripts. The build scripts are the MS build parts, and the cake scripts are found under cake. Then we have a folder, DNN Platform. This is the actual core platform. And DNN Admin Experience. DNN Admin Experience is the panel that slides out from the left on a DNN site, which allows you to manage DNN. And most of those projects are React projects that are hosted in an iframe, and all of that is managed here. It used to be its own separate repository, but about a year ago we merged everything into one repository, as there's a lot of interdependencies between these components. Then we have like I said before, we have a node modules. The install folder is in a folder that was created by a previous build. I'm just going to remove that. We have the node modules folder, we have the packages, and we have the tools folder. So the packages are, like I just said, they are the NuGet packages, and the tools folder is used by cake. Further, what we find in the root directory here is the entry point for cake. The build.ps1 is the cake bootstrapper. The build.cake file is the first cake file. There's a config file for cake. We have the Visual Studio solution file. We have some learner package JSON, so the Webpack stuff is there. And you will find the solution info file. Now, the solution info file is where we store the version that goes into all of the compiled DLLs and the copyright, etc. This is imported in every single C# project in the solution. All right, I think that wraps up a walk around of this code. In another presentation, I'd like to delve into various bits more in depth, and later we'll see how to actually build a dev site on your machine. But for now, thanks for watching.